Well, we made it to Good Friday, 2020. It is Friday, April the 10th. Great to be with you, and thank you for tuning in as we continue to watch the leading cause of death in the United States is certainly coronavirus. In New York, they saw a sharp drop in people newly admitted to the hospital in the last 24 hours. But of course, the number of deaths increased again. The deaths keep rising in New York. The new hospitalizations keep declining. That is, a mixed bag because, as I've said from the beginning, this is taking a very, very strong and definite human toll on thousands and thousands and thousands of Americans. We've now had over 16,000 deaths in the United States, 466,000 cases, nearly 100,000 deaths around the world, 1.6 million cases. Isn't it fascinating to think about what this is going to look like when we return? And that's a conversation that has suddenly begun in earnest. Incidentally, I'm going to throw a curveball. I'm going to throw a curveball at my pal Eric Hansen, because if anybody catches a curveball, it's Eric Hansen. I'm the pitcher. I'm going to throw a knuckleball and keep it out of the dirt. We got to get it over the plate. We got to strike out the batter. It is Holy Weekend. Let's play. Let's not do our usual assortment of 70s and 80s bumper music. Let's come up with some spiritual bumper music. So you can do it. I have faith in you. Pavlina, did he just slump over? Did all the color drain from his face? He can do this, and I know he will, because it is. Let's face it. It is. It's a very spiritual time for the United States and the world. And, many people are locked at home, not going, isolating, not going to church. Your whole life is disrupted. You're wondering when this is going to end. You have deep concern. I mean, just think about it. The deaths in America, 16,686. The New York deaths, just in New York alone, top 7,000. Fascinates me in such a morbid way that New York often just bears the brunt of whatever catastrophe befalls the country. Sandy Hook, the superstorm, certainly 9/11, this pandemic. Gosh, there's just so many things that happen in New York that don't happen in the rest of the country. I've been thinking about the difference between county and county and state and state. I'm sitting in Pinellas County, Florida. As you know, I moved here last year and I spent a lot of time back and forth between New York and Florida. And, but most of my time here. And of course, all of my time in the last, whatever it's been, 4, 5, 6 weeks, feels like 5 months. And they started to break down numbers of infections and illnesses and hospitalizations and deaths in Pinellas County, Florida. I thought that might be worth taking a look at. Everybody you can look at that online, wherever you live, wherever you are. If you're in Oklahoma, if you're in Georgia, if you're in South Carolina, Florida, anywhere you are, you can find online because they are supposed to log the cases, the illnesses, the infections, the deaths, and Pinellas County, I believe, has about 1 million residents. Okay, it's a seasonal place. There's a lot of beach crowd that comes and goes, but there's 1 million, I think, full-time residents approximately in Pinellas County, Florida. Here are the numbers. Now, I don't say this to give you a false sense of security, but you compare New York, where they have had 161,000 cases in New York. Here was a number I saw last night in Pinellas County, Florida. And anybody listening to me here on AM 860, The Answer, if you're in the Tampa Bay area and you want to correct this, feel free to call me if I've got this wrong. And I'm going to paraphrase, but this is what I saw last night from all the official statistics. 1 million people, got it? 394 hospitalizations. Under that, it said that these are not necessarily COVID-19 hospitalizations. We count all hospitalizations. So this is not necessarily a record of COVID-19 hospitalizations. 394 of those 8 deaths. 8. Now, 8 deaths, too many. I pray for those families. How difficult. 8 deaths in an area of 1 million people. 394 hospitalizations in an area of 1 million people. And you can't sit down at a table and have a bite to eat if your life depended on it. You can't drive through the car wash here. They've closed all the car washes. I don't mean the car washes you get out and mingle. I mean the car wash you sit in your car and you pop in the coin or the card and you drive through the car wash. I'm not complaining. I am affirming that just like the rest of the world, it seems, except maybe Austria, we're shut down. And it's going to be a chicken versus egg question. Are we shut down because we've been isolating in our homes and social distancing, or was it just not that bad? 394 hospitalizations, not necessarily COVID-19 related, 8 deaths, 1 million people, Pinellas County, Florida. Now, again, if I've got those numbers somehow wrong, feel free to challenge me, 1-800-655-MIKE. There are different, Hannity was talking about it last night on Fox News. Different communities, different counties, different states have a different level of infection and hospitalizations. And of course, the media centers on New York so rigorously. Do people see that and think that's what it's like outside my door? And of course, the fear I have, we've done this now for weeks. We're going to have to stay hunkered down for at least the rest of April. I don't see any return before April at all, even though many people want there to be. But do people see 160,000 cases in New York and all the deaths, 8,007, or 7,000 deaths, and think, wow, that's what Pinellas County, Florida is? And it's not. It's not. Does that play into your thinking, your mindset, what you want to do? So we're going to dive into all that. We've got a Good Friday edition of the Mike Gallagher Show here in the ReliefFactor.com mobile studios.